Hey, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis with Bonehead Weekly. So if you listen to Bonehead Weekly or watch Bonehead Weekly, which we encourage you to do, we'll eventually do a vampire episode. Most importantly and most specifically, we're going to do a Dracula episode, similar to what we did with Frankenstein earlier, but we keep putting it off mainly because Chad's not crazy about vampires. Chad from Bonehead Weekly and I agree on two things. Robin Hood and Arthurian, as far as Arthur and the Knights, has been done way too much, and so is Dracula. However, there's a new Dracula on Netflix, and what makes it interesting, or what the pedigree is that it was created by Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat. Now, if you don't know who those people are, that's fine. You should. But if you're a Doctor Who fan, you probably should know who they are. They worked on Doctor Who. Stephen Moffat was a showrunner for many years. And they also created Sherlock together. Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch. Now, I love that show. And when they do it, they do like 3 episodes, each over an hour. One of them is and the other 2 are amazing. They've done Dracula. They stuck to certain things and went off the rails on others, which is good. If you're going to do it, something that's been done 1,000 times, and it's great to go off the rails. It twists when you think it's going to turn. It has unexpected, it has many unexpected things in it. At first, I was then I get into it, and then a few minutes later, I'll be and then I get into it, and a few minutes later, but I enjoyed it. I was enjoying it all the way through. I enjoy that the first night takes place, well, I don't want to give you away too much, but the first night kind of takes place with Jonathan Harker. There's a twist at the end about who's Van Helsing that if you don't see coming, I question if you've seen a lot of movies because it's fairly easy to see. The second movie or episode, which you want to say, takes place on the Demeter, which is interesting. The Demeter is the actual ship that took Dracula from wherever he was in Transylvania to Europe, okay? And the third episode jumps in time to modern day America. Now, I love the person who plays Van Helsing. I think she's a great actor. The guy that plays Dracula was in The Affair, a lot of British shows. I've never watched The Affair. He's in one of the girl movies with the dragon tattoo. It's the last one they made, The Girl Caught in the Spiderweb, that's directed by Fede Alvarez. That doesn't really matter. Anyway, I love the way the guy plays him. Interesting, different. I'm having a hard time recommending this. And the reason being is because I'm forgiving. I'm forgiving of endings. There's a lot of bad endings out there, but I'm fairly forgiving. And Stephen King always says, it's about the journey. It's not about the end. I like the ending of The Sopranos. People bitch about that. Speaking of Stephen King, I like the ending of the Dark Tower books. People always complain about those. This has the worst last 15 minutes in television history. Now, really, they're 3 movies. They're each about an hour and a half apiece, so it's about a 4.5 hour adventure to do all this. And I'm still saying go ahead and do it because there's so many tropes that are turned on their head that I like. However, the ending to this piece of shit is awful. It's absolutely awful. Last 10 or 15 minutes. In fact, I want to tell you where to turn it off at, but I can't without giving stuff away, but it doesn't really ruin it anyway. Pretty much, once they get past the... Oh, there's a cat. Once they get past the graveyard stuff, you'll know what I'm talking about with the little boy. A lot of creepy stuff. Oh, there's a baby scene in this that's not out of the book. It references him eating babies in the book. If you ever read Dracula, no adaptation usually takes place. I like that they do a little bit with that. It's a little creepy. Great stuff like that. The last 15 minutes of this thing just absolutely suck. I just have no idea what happened, where they went off the rails. Who thought this was a good idea out of these 2 people? These 2 people who have done a lot of great television. And if you disagree, if you've already seen it, I'm Evil Joe on Twitter. I'm Joe Lewis on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. You can contact me through Scarefest. Let me know. I'm curious. I'd like to get some more of your feedback about some of my reviews. I got a couple of feedback. Meredith, thank you so much for telling me I'm an asshole for saying that Underwater is a good movie. I appreciate you letting me know that. There's a couple people the other day who said, I'm enjoying this segment, Joe, but, which is always, you suck. All right? So thank you all so much for watching. Check out Dracula on Netflix. It's a little long. You're already into horror. You'll probably like it. It changes a lot up, but it's got the worst 15 minutes of anything I've seen since the ending of Rescue Me. God, have you ever seen the ending of Rescue Me with Dennis Leary? Terrible ending for a fairly decent show. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Thank you so much.